At the beginning of the drama, we are shown the female lead, Alice, who is running away from some goons. Suddenly, she enters a room where a meeting is going on. Just then, the male lead, Sam, gets up and comes to her. At the same time, the goons also enter the room. So Alice hides behind Sam. Then one of the goons says, "Who are you to protect this girl?" Sam replies, "I am from Orchard Garden." Hearing this, the goons apologize to him and leave. Alice is also surprised and starts to leave, but Sam says, "Wait, I will drop you home." In the next scene, both of them sit in the car. When they reach Alice's house, Sam is seen sleeping with his head on Alice's shoulder. As Alice moves a little, Sam wakes up. He asks, "How long have I been asleep?" The driver replies, "It's been 2 hours, sir." Sam then apologizes to Alice and she says, "It's okay," and leaves. In the next scene, Alice is sitting in her room when her step-parents and stepsister enter. Her sister says, "You are going to marry Mr. Sam today, so get ready for it." Alice replies, "I don't want to get married right now." Her father says, "He is the honor of Orchard Garden and a rich person too, so you will have to marry him." In the next scene, Alice, dressed in a wedding dress, gets out of the car, and Sam's assistant takes her inside, saying, "Please wait here. Sir will be here soon." She waits there, and even night falls. Then Sam opens the door. Alice is shocked to see him. He takes her to his room. Alice becomes very nervous seeing him. Then Sam tells her, "Take off your wedding dress." Meanwhile, his grandma is listening to their conversation from outside the door. Sam then comes out and shows Alice's wedding dress to her, who is happy that everything is going well between them. Sam returns to the room and tells Alice, "You must be tired, so go to sleep." The next day, when Alice is sitting in the room, Sam's health starts deteriorating and blood starts coming from his eyes. He tells Alice, "You should leave," but Alice hugs him and says, "I will cure you. I can't leave you alone like this." She then injects him with a needle and his eyes are healed. Later, Sam's assistant tells him about Alice, that her parents died when she was 9 years old, and now she is alone. Later, when Sam goes to his grandmother, she says, "You will have to be intimate with your wife. Only then can your disease be treated." But Sam says, "Grandma, these are just words. There's nothing like that." The next day, Alice's sister Annie comes to Sam and starts flirting with him. As she tries to fall on him, Sam moves aside, and Annie falls at Alice's feet. Then she gets up and says, "Alice, what are you doing here? Didn't you go to your husband?" Sam then pulls Alice close and Annie leaves jealously. Sam asks, "Alice, is this your sister?" And they both leave together. In the next scene, Alice and the grandmother are eating cake at home. Then Sam arrives and Alice offers him cake, but the grandmother says he doesn't eat sweet dishes. But Sam tastes the cake and says, "It's very delicious." He then looks at Alice's lips, wipes the cake from her lips, and leaves. The grandmother smiles seeing this, and Alice becomes nervous. The next day, Sam's health worsens. When the doctor examines him, he says, "I've done my best, but there's no improvement. Let's see what happens next." Everyone leaves, and Alice goes to Sam, thinking about what the doctor said, that it's a rare disease caused by sunlight, which is why Sam avoids sunlight. Alice then goes to bed and tells Sam, "I will cure you." Sam asks, "How will you do that?" The doctor said I should be alone, so you should go to the guest room. But Alice refuses to leave, so Sam grabs her neck and pushes her down on the bed, but then says, "Fine, sleep here, but keep some distance from me." But Alice hugs him, which irritates Sam, but she kisses him and falls asleep hugging him. Meanwhile, Annie tells her mom, "You shouldn't have married Alice to such a rich man." Now her attitude has changed. Her mom says, "Don't worry, I'll do something." Later, Alice's dad calls her and reminds her, "This is just a contract marriage, so you don't need to be too happy about it." This makes Alice very sad. The next day, Sam's assistant tells him, "Madam has gone somewhere." Later, Sam goes to a bar where a man brings a girl named Shakira who starts flirting with Sam, but Sam distances himself from them. Meanwhile, Alice also arrives at the bar with a man. The man takes her to her room. Alice tells him, "I'll go take a bath," and heads to the washroom. But Sam is in the washroom. He asks, "What are you doing here?" and starts getting closer to her, making Alice very nervous. The man calls for Alice, and she tells Sam, "Trust me," and returns to the room. Alice then gets close to the man and injects him with a needle, causing him to faint immediately. When she opens the room door, her mom is standing there. As her mom enters, Alice injects her too, and she faints down on the man, and Alice takes their photo. When Alice's dad sees the photo, he starts beating his wife, saying, "How could you sleep with another man?" She says, "I didn't do anything." But Alice's dad doesn't listen. The next day, as Sam is entering the elevator, some goons follow him. Meanwhile, Alice's mom angrily approaches her and says, "You've done me wrong and now your husband Sam is paying the price." Alice gets angry and injects a needle into her mom's leg. On the other hand, Sam exits the elevator and all the goons are lying badly injured. When he comes out, Alice hugs him and it becomes a sweet moment. Alice asks him, "Are you okay?" He replies, "Yes, I'm fine," and they both leave. That night, Alice is talking to her friend who asks about Sam. Just then, Sam arrives and asks, "Who are you talking to?" Alice says, "No one." Sam snatches her phone, listens to the messages, and smiles. He then goes to the washroom and starts shouting. Alice runs to the washroom and Sam says, "Take off my shirt, my arm hurts," as he starts getting closer to Alice, but she runs away. Alice then gets a call from her dad who says, "I've arranged your sister's birthday party, so you must come. I want everyone to enjoy it together." And Alice agrees. In the next scene, Sam is standing outside. Annie approaches him and starts flirting, saying, "Tomorrow is my birthday, so I'm looking for a handsome companion, if you want to be my partner." Just then, Alice arrives and says, "You're shameless. Let me remind you, Sam is only mine," and gets close to Sam. Annie gets very angry and leaves. The next day, when Alice arrives at her sister's birthday party, her dad and stepmom welcome her warmly. Her dad says, "Please fix your mom's leg. She's in a wheelchair because of the needle." Alice says, "I have a condition. I want all my mom's remaining belongings." Her dad says, "Okay, I promise I'll give you." Alice then fixes her mom's leg, but then Annie throws water on Alice. Alice gets angry and pushes Annie's head into the cake. She also shows everyone the photo of her stepmom with that man. A woman starts fighting with her mom saying, "You seduced my husband," and Alice leaves. When Alice returns home, Sam says, "You seem troubled." Alice says, "No, it's nothing." Sam hugs her, and she relaxes and smiles. The next day, Alice gets a call from someone who says, "I want to meet you." Alice says, "I'm married now, forget me." The man says, "Come to room number 802 tonight." Alice angrily hangs up. She then calls Sam, but a girl answers saying, "Sir is taking shower." That night, Alice goes to room 802. The man opens the door, and when Alice enters, she sees a woman tied to a chair. Alice tries to take the woman away, but the man starts forcing himself on Alice. She injects him with the needle and tries to escape, but he catches her again. Just then, Sam arrives and punches the man hard, and then takes Alice away. Later, when they are sitting on the bed, Sam says, "Tell me, what's the matter?" But Alice can't say anything. Then Sam tries to kiss her, but she pushes him away and runs off. The next day, Alice sees Sam's assistant thoroughly cleaning her house and is told that a special guest is coming. Soon, Sam arrives with a girl and says, "She's the new director of our company." Sam starts getting close to the girl, making Alice jealous, and she leaves. We then see a flashback where Sam's grandmother asks, "How is your relationship going?" Sam says, "It's fine from my side," but Alice always pulls away. Then grandmother gives him an idea. Later, Sam, the director, the grandmother, and Alice are eating together. Sam starts serving food to the girl to make Alice jealous. Alice watches this. The grandmother says, "You all eat, I'll bring more food." The girl asks Sam, "Who is this girl sitting here?" Alice says, "I'm the maid," and tells Sam, "Master, I've served the food, I'm leaving now." Later, when Alice is in her room, the director comes in and says, "Why are you sitting here? Go do your work." Alice angrily pushes her, and she falls. Sam and the grandmother are outside listening. Sam says, "This method is working." When he enters, the director says, "Please help me, this maid is bullying me." But Sam ignores her and says to Alice, "Are you okay, my wife?" The director is shocked and says, "Is she your wife? You said she was a servant. You both have cheated me." She then leaves angrily. Then Sam comes closer to Alice and explains, "Grandma told me to test your feelings, and this whole idea was hers." He then holds Alice's hand and says, "Forgive me, I just wanted to know if you like me." He starts kissing Alice, but then Grandma calls him, and he leaves. At night, when Alice comes out of the washroom, Sam says, "I'm feeling very hot." Alice checks him and says, "You're getting a fever." But then Sam pulls her onto the bed and starts getting closer to her, but Alice injects him with the needle, making him faint. The next day, Sam gets a call from his younger brother Eric. He says, "I'm marrying Alice's sister Annie, so both of you must come to the wedding." Alice is shocked, but Sam says, "We will definitely come." Meanwhile, Annie's mom is preparing her for the wedding and says, "You look so beautiful, and Mr. Eric will be the best for you." When Alice arrives to attend the wedding, Eric stops her to talk. She tells him, "Annie is not the perfect girl for you. You should think again. This family has treated me very badly in the past." Eric starts showing sympathy. Just then, Annie sees them together. She immediately separates them and says, "She's lying." Eric says, "Calm down, let me hear her out," but Alice leaves. During the wedding ceremony, Eric asks Annie, "Will you marry me?" She says yes, but Eric refuses to marry her and starts to leave. Annie says, "Alice, you're as shameless as your mom." Hearing this, Alice slaps her. Then Mr. Eric takes her aside and says, "Why did you stop me from marrying Annie? Do you want to marry me?" Alice says, "You know I'm already married." He says, "So what? Give me a chance." Just then, Sam arrives. Seeing him, Eric stands up and Sam says, "Stop causing a matter. Driver is waiting for you in the car." And Eric leaves. Then Alice's dad scolds Sam badly, saying, "Because of you, our reputation is ruined." But Sam doesn't care. When they return home, Sam is in a playful mood and takes Alice to the bed. Alice notices sunlight coming through the window, but Sam doesn't pay attention and starts kissing her. Just then, Grandma arrives and they both move away. After Grandma leaves, as Sam gets close to Alice again, Grandma opens the door and says, "I forgot to lock the door." This ruins their mood completely. Meanwhile, Annie is crying a lot, and her dad scolds her, saying, "Keep crying. All you know is how to cry. Because of you, our family is bankrupt." Just then, a beautiful girl named Van arrives and tells them, "I can give you money to save your company." They are very happy. Van then calls someone and says, "I need $2 billion, so now fulfill your promise." After the call, she thinks to herself, "Alice, now you'll see what I do to you." In the next scene, Alice meets her friend, and she shows her the news that Sam is investing $2 billion for SU family. Alice is shocked. After some time, Sam arrives outside, and Alice leaves with him. At home, Alice asks him, "Why are you investing $2 billion for my family?" He says, "Before meeting you, I promised a girl that I would fulfill 3 of her demands. I've already fulfilled 1, and this $2 billion is her second demand." Alice says, "What if her third demand is for you to divorce me and marry her? Will you do it?" Sam says, "She won't do anything like that." Just then, Alice gets a call. After the call, Sam asks, "Is everything okay?" She says, "I have to go to get some of my mom's things." Sam says, "I'll come with you." Alice says, "No, I'll handle it myself, don't worry." Later, Alice goes to a hospital where she meets Van. Actually, Van is Alice's other stepsister. She starts mistreating Alice. Just then, a senior doctor arrives and stops them from arguing, and Alice starts leaving. Then she gets a call from her friend and goes into a flashback where a lady had told her, "Your mom left a box behind. It's very important, and you need to get it back." She then tells her friend, "I've come to get something important." Her friend invites her to a party and says, "You have to come with Sam." Alice says, "Okay, I'll come with Sam." Next, we see the party scene where Alice is completely drunk. Van also arrives there, and to humiliate her, she shows her necklace to Alice and says, "Sam gave it to me. Anyway, you don't even know him." Just then, Sam arrives. Van tries to get close to him, but Sam pushes her away and says to Alice, "You've had too much to drink today." Then he picks her up and takes her away. Van's friend says, "Alice must have seduced Sam." This makes Van very jealous. She calls someone and says, "I have a work for you." The next day, as Alice is going somewhere, someone kidnaps her at knife point. The kidnapper is none other than Eric. She tries to escape, but he catches her and sits her back down. He tells a guy, "Take off her clothes, I'll make a video." The guy starts removing Alice's clothes, and Alice screams. Just then, Sam arrives and knocks the guy down. He tells Eric, "Apologize to Alice." Eric says sorry, but Alice says, "I haven't accepted it yet." Sam presses Eric's wound and says, "Say sorry again." Eric apologizes again. Sam unties Alice and she hugs him, saying, "I was so scared, and this happened because of you. You didn't protect me." And Sam bites her neck. In the next scene, Grandma asks Sam, "Has anything happened between you two yet?" Sam says, "What do you think? Can she cure me?" Grandma says, "Yes, I'm sure of it." Sam says, "Okay, Grandma, I'm getting late." Meanwhile, Van is sitting with her parents and says, "Alice looked so charming at the party." Her mom says, "Don't worry, your dad will do something." In the next scene, a servant tells Grandma, "Alice's parents have come to meet you." Meanwhile, Alice's parents are waiting for Grandma and start scolding a servant nearby, also criticizing Sam's company. Just then, Sam's assistant arrives and starts coughing. The couple asks him for help with their company, but he keeps pretending to cough, and they leave frustrated. In the next scene, Alice goes to a party where Van is also present. Alice pretends to be drunk, and Van starts fake consoling her. Just then, the assistant arrives. Van tells him, "Take her home." He says, "Master is coming himself to pick up his wife." Van is shocked. Sam arrives and says to Alice, "Let's go home." Van grabs Sam's hand and says, "Say it's all a joke." Sam says, "It's true, she's my wife." Alice pushes Van away from Sam. As they start to leave, Van stops them and says, "My third promise is still pending." Sam says, "Tell me, what's your third promise?" Van says, "Divorce Alice and marry me." Sam says, "I'll never do that." Van emotionally blackmails him, and Sam says, "Fine, I'm ready to divorce her." Van is very happy. Sam leaves, and Alice is shocked. In the next scene, Van is with her parents and says, "I want to cure Sam's disease first, then he'll love me." Her dad is happy and says, "My daughter is so intelligent." Meanwhile, Alice is in the lab preparing medicine for Sam's disease. When the medicine is ready, she tests it on herself but faints. An employee takes care of her. When Sam arrives, the employee tells him everything. When Alice regains consciousness, she says, "I told you I'd cure you. I was just making medicine for you. But do you really want to divorce me?" Sam hugs her and says, "I'm not going to do anything like that." When they step outside, a doctor suddenly faints. Alice immediately takes out her needle and injects him, and he recovers. He thanks her and says, "You look just like your mom." Later, Alice goes to her dad's house with Sam and asks, "Where is my mom's box?" At first, he refuses, but when Sam forces him, he spills everything. Alice then goes to the doctor's house, and he gives her the box, saying, "You look just like your mom." In the evening, when she returns home, she is shocked to see her room decorated. Sam arrives with a cake and says, "I remembered your birthday." Alice is very happy. She then starts to make a wish, and Sam puts cake on her nose, wishing her a happy birthday. They kiss, and the drama ends happily. Hope you all liked this explanation. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe to the channel. See you in the next explanation. Until then, bye-bye, take care.